Clara stared at the man in front of her, his face flushed with the kind of innocent excitement that only a man could have while thinking he was about to get laid. She had prepared for this moment, planned it meticulously. This was her chance, the one where she'd finally succeed. She cracked her knuckles and smiled, more a grimace than anything, but she made do. He wouldn't be expecting her to kill him. That was the point. If they knew what she had planned, they wouldn't come near her, and she really needed this one to work. Really needed it. Clara raised the kitchen knife. Her fingers were cold, numb, but she gripped it firmly, even as her heartbeat thudded in her ears. She had done this so many times before, stalked men, lured them in, but for some reason, every time she made her move, it didn't work out. She had died once. No one had bothered to ask how she got back. She just did. And every time she tried to stay dead, she thought, this time I'll do it right. But no, the men had to die. They were the problem. They always had been. Is this gonna happen, or? The man raised an eyebrow, clearly thinking she was playing some kind of game. Oh, she was playing a game, all right. Clara lunged forward. She missed. The knife went right over his shoulder. She stumbled, tripped on the rug as he laughed, not even a little out of breath, just laughed. Are you trying to scare me or something? He grabbed her by the shoulders, lifted her back to her feet with an ease that made her feel weak. She was supposed to have the advantage. She yanked herself out of his grip, not hard enough, but she tried. Stay back! She pointed the knife at him, eyes wide. She wasn't sure if she was trying to convince him or herself. He just stared. Are we role-playing? He was kind of into it. She grit her teeth. Shut up! You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to... But she didn't have time to finish because now the man was standing there, not even intimidated, and she still wasn't doing it right. She lifted the knife again, but this time something weird happened. Her hand shook so violently she nearly dropped the damn thing. He watched, utterly unimpressed, as she attempted to make another lunge. His hand shot out. She flinched as his fingers wrapped around her wrist, pinning it against the wall. His voice had a bored edge to it now, like she was an inconvenience. If you wanted me to come over for this, you could have just said so. Clara's heart pounded. Her mouth went dry. She had to do it this time. She had to make him stay dead. He wasn't supposed to be this strong. Her grip tightened on the knife again, but somehow everything felt like it was in slow motion. She lunged one more time, with all the strength she could muster. And then, nothing. She had the knife in her own chest. She blinked. The blood dripped, red streaks on her pale skin. She wasn't sure how it happened, but there was a sharp, horrible pain in her chest. The man looked down at her. His face was still unbothered. He glanced at the knife, then back at her. Is that one of those retractable knives? He asked, as though mildly impressed, before casually pulling the knife from her body. You've got a knife in you, he said flatly. Clara fell to her knees, gasping, but somehow even that felt wrong. She didn't feel the usual pull of death like she had the first time she was murdered. She felt irritated. Maybe if she wasn't so damn weak, maybe if she had a little more strength. The man grabbed her by the hair and yanked her back up, his smile only widening. You're still alive, aren't you? He asked, pulling her to her feet. Weird thing about being dead, you can't die twice. Clara blinked again, and this time she realized that even though she couldn't kill him, she still hadn't given up on trying, and at this point, maybe that was enough. Or maybe it wasn't, who knew anymore? I maybe can't die, she said flatly, but I can still kill you. The man chuckled as if she'd just told a joke. She gave him a stiff, grim smile, her chest still bleeding, but somehow not quite right. Her body was weak, but it was all she had.